This is Minuet. She's the most beautiful, fun-loving, sweet horse that I've ever had the honor to work with. A friend, Sarah, had bred her and raised her, and she was 4 years old and sitting in a paddock and needed somebody to start her. And just for fun, I got on her back a couple times in the arena, and then Sarah and I headed out into the trails and just went for some wonderful trail rides together. Minuet was just so easy and fun as a student. And it's interesting, I told Sarah that I always felt that Minnie just sat there thinking all the time in her paddock, wondering why I wasn't coming back. Had she done something wrong, or what could she do to further please me the next time so that I'd come back more often and take her out and play. And my entire experience with her has been like that. She's a very, very special horse. I've trained some phenomenal, very competitive dressage warm bloods in my life, and I've had the honor to ride 3 Olympic horses to get to train on them and be coached on them after they'd been to the Olympics. And I truly believe that this little horse, not a big mover but a passionate mover, is the most uniquely joyful and fast learning horse I've ever sat on. About a year ago, when Minuet turned 6, I couldn't resist any longer, and I actually made the time to start training her full time as a dressage horse. And in a year, we've progressed from very basic work to bringing her out in her show career this season, summer of 2009 at Prix St. George. She had previously been in a couple halter classes as a youngster, but she made her dressage debut at Prix St. George, which was very exciting. Very, very exciting experience. And we've been to 4 shows now. We have our 5th coming up here at the end of August. And we've scored up to almost 64% in open shows. And she actually won she's now the 2009 champion at Prix St. George for Region 2 in the Arabian horse finals. So for this open show coming up, we are now working on our pirouettes, which are still fairly green. So teaching Minuet to sit down a little more, collect more, and really bring herself back for those pirouettes, which she does with ease. I'd like to slow them down and get them a little more rhythmic and self-carried. The other thing that we are working on right now is her trot lengthenings. Since she's not a big moving horse, I never really focused on those because it was so much more fun to play with all these things that came, these talent-driven movements that came so easily to her. But now we're working on trying to get a little bit more trot, a little more elevation, sitting down a little more, seeing if we can lengthen her stride a little bit more so that we can be truly competitive with the big boys. Of course, the tempi changes, as you can see, come so easily to Minuet. She does the 3s and the 4s, of course, for the Prix St. George test. She can do 50, 75 2s on the trail, one-handed with she just skips. People driving by just stop to watch her. She looks like this skipping child sometimes. She just has so much fun with it. And the one-tempis we've kind of been holding off on, although we did 1 row the very first time I asked her, 4 or 5 in a row with ease. I've been waiting with those until we had some Prix St. George tests under her belt, just so I didn't confuse her. But of course I didn't confuse her when I asked for them. She knew exactly what I wanted, and I asked her for this video a few days before we started working on them just to see if we could do some for the video. And boom, she does a row of 19 or 20 ones, as you can see here at the beginning of this tape, without blinking an eye. Just beautiful, powerful, straight and true. Obviously that's even more than is required at the Grand Prix level. So we're tinkering around with the idea of starting a little piaffe and passage, but still first trying to get this trot lengthening worked out this month. Here you'll see Beth, a little 7-year-old, riding her. When we were filming for this, she saw us and with some friends pulled up and parked and were watching us go, and Beth asked if she could sit on Minuet, and I thought, well, gosh, nobody's really ridden her. She's had, I think, one other rider try her out, her owner. So I thought, well, I don't know about that. But anyway, I put her on her, and Minuet took wonderful care of her. My philosophy in general with training horses is that they should get to be horses. I keep all my horses outdoors in paddocks, never in stalls except at shows. I think they develop healthy, strong legs. They stay sound. They get to be horses. I make sure I trail ride them as much or more than I work them in the arena. I get them used to going different places and seeing different things, and I don't know if I really believe in the idea of a bomb-proof horse that is actually fun to ride and not, hardly moving. But as far as that concept of getting horses used to as many different experiences as possible, we're really lucky in that we live in cattle country here, and I make sure all my dressage horses go out and actually learn to work the neighbor's cattle, and get the idea of big, scary animals moving away from them. We chase coyotes, we do whatever we can to build really bold, confident, happy, fun-loving horses, and that's what I love doing, and I think Minuet's one of my favorite examples of a horse that just really rises to the challenge with joy and happiness and becomes such a pleasure to ride.